Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here at Sue. Tonight, we are, of course, here on Virtual Racing Network. We are on the YouTube channel here tonight for the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. It should be a great race. We have so far 14 drivers that have made the trip here to the track tonight. It's here at Iowa Speedway in, of course, Iowa. There you have it. You can't get much more simpler than that. But before we dive deep into all of the vital information for tonight's race, we need to, of course, thank the sponsors that make all of this possible here on the racing side of things. And those sponsors are, of course, the one and only Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. Make sure you check them out. Get some of that product. Makes a terrific Christmas present, stocking stuffer, whatever it may be. That is Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb. Check them out at wallsbeardco.com to get some of that all natural and organic product today. And of course, none of this would be possible here on the broadcast without the following partners: Northwest Racing Series, Walls Beard Co. themselves, Race on Texas, World of Thunder, Hanover Wrecker Service, On the Edge Motorsports, your official Wicked Energy Gum retailer, Huffman Designs, and of course, while we don't cover them anymore, Racecourt Online Racing League here for 2019. Of course, that'll do it for the sponsors. It is time to dive right into the heart of everything here tonight. And it looks like we may have 16, 17 drivers if everyone does come that we are expecting to show up here tonight. But let's jump right into what we really came here for. And this is that right there, your playoff championship. We're going to pull it up on RN2. Sean Brightsman has a win. He is tied for first place right now with Jeff Stabnow. They going to be interesting. Not much work has gone into the setup between this team here for Wicked Chassis Racing. They have the wins, and so far it doesn't look like Mark Walls is going to be here tonight. And of course, John Ottenbacher is at Phoenix for the actual race, so he is MIA here tonight as well. That is good news if you're James Thurston, Ray Fournier, Ryan Maines, James Vining, who are sitting safe in the top 8 right now. John Ottenbacher only 11 points to the good. He will drop out of the top 8 here because looking here, all he needs is Ray Fournier, Ryan Maines, and James Vining. And we're looking here. James Vining is here. Ryan Maines is here. And James Vining, I do believe not James Vining, Ray Fournier, I do believe we saw him. He is here as well. So those three are here. That's going to drop John Ottenbacher into a must-win scenario next week. So we'll be talking to him probably next week coming into the race. Frank Harris only 1 point out of the good here in ninth place. So he obviously would gain a spot as well. He should be safe at the end of tonight's race. He is here as well. Thomas Green, 4 points out. We'll see how that plays out. He could be in that 8th place later on tonight, but for sure will probably be about 9th. And even Casey Tillman may be up to 10th. It really just depends on how far John Ottenbacher does drop down. So far, 14 drivers here. I would imagine he's going to drop somewhere between 10th and 11th place for John Ottenbacher. Not a good scenario. That is a must-win scenario for him. We are in the round of 12, getting ready for the round of 8 here in round number 1. So we'll be watching that very closely here tonight. We may pull that back up later on tonight just to kind of give you an idea of where everyone is and in relation to where they are on the track here during the race itself. That being said, we have about 1 minute left on the clock, so we're going to step away, get some last-minute stuff taken care of here, and we will be back in 1 minute with qualifying, as we'll go ahead and bring your top bar up onto the screen. Again, qualifying coming up in just 1 minute. All right, time is up. Apparently, time is up for us to not cough too. So there goes a little coughing fit going on there. But we are ready to get this thing going here tonight. As a checkered flag waving, you can see the flagman there waving that flag with everything he has. It's time to get ready for qualifying. So we're going to go ahead and drop down. And so far, no drivers coming out. No surprise. These guys waiting here. And look how dark it is. This track was bright earlier. It's really, really dark now. As those clouds have rolled over on this track. And that may be what these guys are looking for to see. We'll bring up your track information here. 116 degrees. We were upwards of 130 the other day. So I would look to see some of these guys coming out here very soon. 0.89 mile track, 2 miles here for qualifying. Your track temp again 116, air temp 91 degrees. All that information brought to you by Bulletproof Tees. We'll see. It looks like the first driver going to be coming out is going to be Ryan Maines. We'll drop down with your qualifying bar here tonight and see just where he stacks up. And then number 13, again, the track almost looks muddled down, like the coloring doesn't look very vivid. That is because we don't have the sun shining off these trucks like we're used to with all the shadowing here from those clouds. We will see the sun come back. It is not a permanent thing. It's a dynamic weather here, so the sun will probably come out when those clouds pass away. We'll just have to see if and when that happens. As you're watching qualifying here for the Northwest Truck Series presented by Walls Beautico, live on the Virtual Racing Network YouTube channel. And 13 to Ryan Maines. Oh, he does hit the wall, but not much damage, but it's going to invalidate the time. We jump over to James Thurston in the number 2 machine, as he's going to put in the time. Ryan Maines did get into 23.491 after, or right before that happened, so he does have a lap in. That is good news for him. You do not want to have to start at the back if you don't want to. Although some of these drivers will try to do it, and they're good at getting through the back, from the back to the front. So we'll see how it goes. James Thurston, though, 23.864. That'll put him in second place. As you can see already, the colors becoming a little more vibrant on these trucks as that sun is starting to come out here. And right there, it gets a little less sunny. But again, let's zoom out here just a little bit here at this track. And you can see right there, the sun is partly out right there. As James Thurston's going to bring it to a stop here. And Jeff Stabnow going to be rolling out of pit road. Much, much brighter now here with that sun out for Jeff Stabnow than it was for the other two that came out, Ryan Maines and James Thurston. It looks like James Viney going to come out. Look how much brighter this is. To do a comparison, we'll zoom back in. Look, you can actually see the coloring on this truck. There, the sun is partly out, but not too much. So we'll keep an eye. We may try to talk to Jeff here in just a moment. As there are 7 minutes left of qualifying, and he's obviously going to have those laps in here very quickly. So we'll have to see how he does here momentarily. And see if we can't get a word. James Vining also out on the track. The track's going to be changing a bunch here. Sunny to cloudy. That's going to play a huge factor in it. But he does take a pole so far with a 23.490. Again, we'll pull him down here as quickly as possible once he puts in his run. James Vining going to put in a 23.841. That'll jump him to third fastest on the charts here in qualifying. And Jeff Stabnow going to complete lap number 2. Will it be any faster? We'll find out here shortly. As he is around, and so far nothing there. 23.801 for his second lap. He's going to take an extra few laps around here. James Vining still at 23.841. As Jeff Stabnow maybe just trying to get a few extra laps in here for practice. If we get down to about 3 minutes, we'll see if we can talk to him. Maybe 4. We'll pull him down here either way and get him on the radio to take a chat with him. Nobody else coming out on the track. They're going to have to come out soon here in just a minute, or they're going to run out of time. It doesn't take you but about a minute to complete 2 laps. Jeff Stabnow apparently not content with going down pit road, he's going to come back out onto the track once again. Oh, he is going to continue his laps here. Not sure what he was doing there on pit road for a minute, but or attempting pit road, but he is going to opt out, maybe practicing the little fake out to get down pit road, something. But again, his times are done. He has a 23.490 for qualifying, and he is going to go ahead and bring it down pit road. As his qualifying is done here tonight, he's going to bring it to a stop. We're going to bring him in the booth and see what his thoughts are here if we can get him in. Jeff Stabnow, you got a copy.
Oh, you just cut me run away. I'm here for a second.
We got you just for a second. Then we just want to ask one question here. As a racer, we've been watching this track go shady, and then it'll come real sunny again. And you got the pole right now. How much is this going to affect these trucks here tonight if it's constantly changing like that for the race?
Yeah, first of all, I don't think I'll get the pole. I actually was going to do my money lap on lap 2, and I lost the truck in turn 1, so... really, that time's on my out lap. I took the long way around the track there to build speed up. And I think the sun just came out and it slicked that up that fast. This track is changing way faster than anything we've practiced on in months. I think it's going to have a pretty big effect on tonight's race. The temperature swings are a lot bigger of the track. The track temp swings are a lot bigger, and they're swinging a lot faster. So when you see, temps of 110, 115, these trucks just have loads of grip, and then we're up pushing 125, 130, and we can hardly turn them. They want to just slide straight into the wall. So it's going to be real tough with these temp swings.
Definitely something we'll be looking for here. First off, see if you keep that pole. Nobody else has come out except for the 4 that have qualified so far. Very interesting on that note. We know you were hopping out there real fast. You got about 3 minutes to do so. We're going to let you go, and we're going to take a quick word with Sean, as never mind, he's going down the track, so we'll let you go.
Yeah, he had to go let the dogs out, so you'll have to wait a minute. All right.
All right, Sean Brightsman going to be coming out on to the track, so we're going to jump over to him and bring up your qualifying bar for the number 46, brand new paint job on that Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb Toyota Tundra here, number 46, Sean Brightsman. And again, interesting to see this few people coming out. They're waiting till the very last minute to come out and qualify, as Steven Paulson also going to coming out again. Steven Paulson, remember where he is? He is negative 70 out of the chase. He's in 12th place right now in the point standings, but he is well out of the chase, 70 points, as he's missed at least one race, so he has got his work cut out for him. Really, it's probably about a 90-10 split right here for him. He is not eliminated yet. However, he does need a win. Even next week, it'd be about 95.5%, but he's not counted out. A win and you're in, so he still has a chance here to get in, as Sean Brightsman's going to take the pole with a 23.442. And we'll jump over to Steven Paulson, who currently has a 23.800 in that number 58 Jim Beam Toyota Tundra. Tom Green also on the track, but Frank Harris is going to be the next one to put in a lap, followed by Tom Green, and then Casey Tillman is how they came out onto the track. And we'll see Frank Harris in the number 11 machine going to be coming around the corner here for turn number 4. And what kind of time will it be for him as he crosses the line? 23.995. That'll put him in 7th place. We'll jump over to Tom Green, 24.048. That will put him right back in 8th, where he was already sitting. And we'll go over to Casey Tillman, who went to click on his name, and it moved on the scoreboard. 23.498. That'll put him in 4th fastest, as he's going to slightly scrape the wall there in that number 92 machine. But he will run a 4th fastest time. Got a top 5 qualifying run here for Casey Tillman. We'll jump back over to Tom Green, who does pass Frank Harris just now with a 23.864. He'll take 8th place over Frank Harris, and he's going to go ahead and shut it down And it looks like Ray Fournier, Scott Hutchinson, Dana Rogers, Dan Stuzy, who we have not seen in quite some time, and Dan West Jr. are going to not qualify here at this point with 18 seconds left to go. They're not even going to get a chance to, so that is going to do it for qualifying. Coming up next will be your Walls of Beard Co. starting grid with Sean Brightsman on pole here for tonight's race. All right, your starting order, you're a little jumbled up here tonight. But the front two obviously going to be accurate. So that's going to be Sean Brightsman in the 46 machine, your pole sitter for tonight. And Jeff Stabnow sitting in second place. After that, the scoring loop is just kind of all over the place. We don't know where everyone is. We don't have our grid, unfortunately. We're going to try to get that done as quickly as possible. But they are taking to the grid here. We'll wait till Sean Brightsman and Jeff Stabnow get to the grid so we can go through your lineup here just a little bit. It's, again, Sean Brightsman getting the pole here with a very fast time, and Jeff Stabnow going to be right behind him. Didn't think he'd get the pole when he didn't, but he got pretty close to it. As there at the last minute, everybody started to come out on to the track. There you see your grid. For the most part, not everybody has taken to the grid just yet, but most everybody has. I'm surprised to see that 55 of Dan West Jr. did not qualify. He is somebody that has been known here lately as Rocket Man Dan. He did not put a qualifying run in here in the number 55 machine, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. But there's your pole sitter, the 46 of Sean Brightsman. To his outside is going to be the 24 Jeff Stabnow, followed by the 13 of Ryan Maines, and Casey Tillman in the 92 are going to round out your second row here tonight. Well, again, some good racing going to be coming your way. 14 drivers. It doesn't look like Dan Stuzy, Scott Hutchinson, or Dana Rogers are going to start, so we're going to cut this field back to 11 drivers, so quite a bit shorter than we were predicting it to be. We were looking forward to having those 3 drivers here with us, but fate has not made that happen. They didn't make the start. We'll see if maybe they show up here in just a little bit, starting from the pits. But either way, we are just about ready to get this thing going. We will take the green flag next time by. All right, they are in turn number 3. Coming into turn number 4, it's time to buckle those seat belts down tight. Check the helmet straps. Let's get this thing going. It is race time here at Iowa Speedway. Short track racing at its finest. 0.89 miles around this track 150 times. We are racing here at Iowa Speedway for the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bomb, live on Virtual Racing Network YouTube channel, as it's going to be a good little battle between the front two here, as Jeff Stabenow looks like he's going to take the lead here in the start of this thing. Sean Brightsman already on the defense, trying to make something happen. Can he get by? Here comes Casey Tillman. Don't count him out yet, as well as Ryan Maines and James Viney. They're going to single file out very quickly. And no surprise there. These guys know that these tires are going to wear out. They wore out quite a bit in the Xfinity Series as well. Oh, they've got to baby these tires just a little bit. And surprisingly enough, the two guys that didn't have any time to work on their setups really, or in Jeff's words, they got lazy, basically. It didn't work on the setup. They're using the same setup that was done in the test and tune session on Saturday night. So they are running just what everybody else here, unless these guys change it. Did the 92 of Casey Tillman, has he changed on that setup at all? And I don't even know if he was at practice. Some of these guys don't show up. They have their own sets, as these are open setups, so it'll be interesting to see. Meanwhile, we're going to go back here a little bit, zoom out on the camera. You got a nice little battle going on between Dan West Jr. and James Thurston going to be coming into the picture. That was also Frank Harris in the 11, as Dan West Jr., he didn't qualify, so he wasn't Rocket Man Dan here at Iowa Speedway, but he is already climbing through this field as he's gained several spots. Again, 11 drivers, that's all that's here tonight, as Scott Hutchinson, Dana Rogers, and Dan Stuzzi did not make the call for tonight's race. We go up just a little bit. Not too much going on here. They've kind of settled that one out. We're going to go back here just a little bit to the 333 of James Vining. Keep in mind, James Vining currently having some connection issues as well. That is not what he wanted to see. And looks like he's back. So here he is battling for position, but having some connection issues. He is currently 1 point to the good in 8th place. Frank Harris is somebody that he's battling with. Frank Harris currently in 9th place on the track, and he is 9th place in the points too. So that is a battle that we're going to be watching. Frank Harris versus James Vining. Right as it is now, James Vining has the advantage in this race. We'll see if that continues throughout. We got a nice, really nice battle starting to brew here between Dan West Jr., Stephen Paulson, James Vining, and Ryan Maines. In the reverse order there, Ryan Maines, of course, in the 13 is leading this group, as we're seeing Dan West Jr. Use that rocket power here. He may have saved it for qualifying, but he's using it here in the race. He's already up to 5th position. As I pull that up there, he started 10th. He's gained 5 spots here in just 7 laps of this race. We're on lap 8 right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Back to the front we go. Your front three really haven't done too terribly much. Jeff Stabenow did get by Sean Brightsman, and he's been out front every lap since. But Casey Tillman's still hanging in there trying to make something happen, but it just hasn't quite happened just yet. As you'll see, Sean Brightsman trying to take to the outside, and no, Jeff's going to shut the door, but here comes Brightsman to the inside. He had a little bit of run, but not quite enough to make the pass. We do want to give a shout out to everybody out there tuning in here tonight, wherever you're watching from. We know John Ottenbacher out there watching from Phoenix, I do believe. So I don't know, John, let us know what the weather's like in Phoenix. I would say it's probably like Texas weather, but it's rainy and cold here. It's like 30 degrees, so of course that's 30 degrees now. It'll be 80 tomorrow, but still, we're going from 70s to 30s. So our weather is about like Jeff's racing career, sometimes up and down. But Jeff, just kidding with you. You do good in here, but still, this weather's been crazy around here. In Texas, what not crazy here is the sun has come out during the race. We talked about it being, off and on. The clouds would come out, sun would come out. We hit the green flag, and the sun said, I'm coming up, and I'm going to stay out. And it has been that way ever since. Casey Tillman trying to run down the 46 of Sean Brightsman. He's doing a good job of it as well. We're going to keep tabs on that. Meanwhile, we are going to just go back here just a little bit and see Rocket Man Dan still in 5th place, but he's running down Ryan Maines here to take 4th place away. I'm not going to count Dan West Jr. out of this race yet. He may surprise us and work his way all the way to the front and make something happen. Again, I'm not going to count him out just yet, just because he's doing so good, even though he didn't qualify. If he can get himself set up good here early in this race, and then a caution comes out or pit stops come in, preferably a caution coming out, he could regroup in 5th place from 10th and get a good stop. He may gain some positions on pit road as well. That is something we will keep a very close eye on. We go a little further back here. Let's go to Tom Green in the 77 machine. And that Golf at number 77, he is hanging right in 9th place right now, trying to do his best job there. Again, all these positions are on the line right now. James Thurston even trying to get a win here. And we see there John Unbacher in the 80s. That is crazy. That is what we're used to around here in Texas. Everyone else talks about snow, and we're in the 80s and 90s. But it is, again, it is raining enough here that my backyard is actually flooded at the house. So totally different weather than we're expecting here, but the windows are open here in the studio as it is nice and cool out here, and we are enjoying this weather for sure. And the 11 of Frank Harris gets into the wall ever so slightly. That's going to cause him a little bit of problem, but he's going to keep it going in the right direction, and he actually isn't going to lose any positions out of that. That is good. That goes to show you just how hard it is to get momentum and pass here, as he's actually going to make a run on the 2 of James Thurston. We'll see if he can get him. Again, every time I think of that number 2 of James Thurston with that too old for Forza, obviously not saying he's too old for it, it's the name of the group that he races with, but it's been a long time since we've been on Forza, and we're running leagues on there, but awesome to see that paint job. Always looks good. But there goes Frank Harris. He's going to make his bid to go to the inside. He's going to slide up just a little bit. They're side by side coming to the line. James Thurston will have 8th position that time by. Let's go up to the front. Still not much change up here. Jeff Stabnow using those fast flames to keep him out front, as that truck is hot here tonight. And followed by Sean Brightsman and Casey Tillman. But just as we say that, Casey Tillman going to try to make a bid for 2nd place. He does. Sean Brightsman not really going to battle him too much. He's going to let him by. So I'm not sure. I'm sure that was probably a strategic move. Let him by. Don't wear these tires out any more than you have to. Tire wear, I think, is going to be very crucial here. It was very crucial in the Xfinity race. I have no doubt that it's going to be crucial here in this race as well. We'll definitely need to talk to somebody, but right now, that may not happen, as a caution doesn't seem very intimate, whatever, I can't speak today. But anyway, it doesn't seem like it's going to be coming out anytime soon. As these guys are imminent. There we go. That's the word we're looking for. They're kind of spread out. They're not too bunched up. There are little groups here, but you see, as we'll zoom out here just a little bit, see how far they are. That's Ryan Maines to Dan West Jr. Then you go back to James Vining and Stephen Paulson. Those two putting on a nice little battle, but they too are spread out here. They'll bunch back up here and there throughout this entire race. Go back once again. You have James Thurston and Tom Green. Tom Green actually trying to make a run here. And is he going to be able to complete the pass? Not that time by, but he is still trying to get that goal for number 77 Toyota Tundra in front of the other Toyota Tundra, Chevrolet of James Thurston. But just hasn't really been able to complete the pass. He's definitely trying and giving it everything he has, but just not quite able to complete it. It looks like the sun has started to somewhat fade here, as we do see a little bit of shadow on the track. And I want to point out that right now, Jeff Stabnow, while we're not watching that lead, he does have a just over a 1 second lead here. He could pad his lead here if he can pick up a second win. We did talk to Jeff earlier And we won't say what is wrong, but we do know he is not feeling his best, and does have an injury, nothing life-threatening or anything like that, but he is racing with an injury here tonight. But full disclosure, we won't give full disclosure on that. We know what it is, but we did not ask permission to tell what it is, so we will not mention that. But again, racing not at a 100%. We'll say that for that number 24 of Jeff Stabnell. So he's already said if he does not complete this race, you see him pull off. That is why. If he does go ahead and pull it off, let's go on board with him if we could. And I'm curious here. Let's go to his roll bar camera, if we could, if we can even find it there. There we go. Let's go on board with him. Again, we're running on board with the 24 of Jeff Stabnell here, just to kind of see how much he's having to fight this. And throttle and brake, all of that. All that's going to play a factor into how much he can hang into this race. This track, obviously, if you were at a super speedway, he might be a little better off. Excuse me, but being at a track like this, where you're constantly on the brake and constantly on the gas, it's going to wear on you a little bit faster there. Let's go to his helmet cam if we could, and just see the inputs that he's given there. And not a whole lot. He's not having to fight this truck too much. So that is definitely a good thing, that he is not having to put too much brake into it, too much steering into it. Definitely is having to brake. We'll go back to the main camera here, and we'll go back to this little one here, and still not much going on. Those two are closer than anybody right now, or they were. It looks like they've spread it out just a little bit. Ryan Maines coming into the picture, but Casey Tillman gets by Sean Brightsman while we were on board with Jeff Stabnell. He just got by him. You see the gap's not too big. While we were on board with Jeff Stabnell, Casey Tillman did get by Sean Brightsman. Unfortunately, we missed it, but that's just what happened there. It looks like Casey Tillman getting a little loose there. Dan West Jr. still hanging in the 5th place. He really hasn't progressed too much more past that point. Unfortunate, but he's still got a shot here. We could see a caution. Again, I don't see it being very likely, but we definitely could see a caution. Actually, further back here in the field, as it looks like James Thurston going to scrape the wall a little bit. Ray Fournier right behind him, followed by Tom Green and Frank Harris. All three of these guys, everyone's on the lead lap, and they are bumper to bumper right now, putting on a fairly good show here for you tonight. Even though it's not at the front of the field, still putting on a good battle. All right, let us know on the chat there who your pick is for tonight's run. I know we got some fans out there watching. Let us know who your pick for tonight's race win is. Of course, share it out there. Get the link out to your friends and family. Let them know to tune in and watch. As you're watching again, we say it again, the Northwest Trek Series presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm here live on a Virtual Racing Network. I'm not even sure what race we're on right now. We'll have to pull the schedule up here, as we'll be able to do that real quickly. Thanks to all the new improvements that we've had here in the studio, thanks to all the donations and the leagues and everyone that's kept us going. As I'm not sure what that was, their little blink, but we'll see, as these guys really close together right now. We want to keep a close eye on this battle. We're going to let this battling kind of talk about itself, as we want to talk about the next week coming up. This kind of do or die scenario. as we head to California for Auto Club Speedway for 90 laps. Excuse me, 90 laps at Auto Club. It seems like it's not very many laps compared to the 150 here, but it really is. It's 180 miles. We're only running 131 miles here tonight, so that'll be something interesting to keep an eye on, as Ray Fournier going to be shuffling again. The front of the pack still is Jeff Stabnow, Casey Tillman, Sean Brightsman, Ryan Maines, and Dan West Jr. Not much has changed up there. This is where the battle's at, between Tom Green, Frank Harris, James Thurston. Really, right now, it's Frank Harris and Tom Green. These two side by side duking it out here tonight. As again, Frank Harris, Tom Green. Keep in mind, they are in 9th and 10th in the points right now. -1 out of the good and -4 out of the good for Tom Green, Frank Harris, -1. So those two, not only are they battling on the track, there's 3 points separating them in the race itself. So they've got a lot on the line here. I know John Ottenbacher is out there watching as well. Unfortunately, not being here, he'll probably fall from 5th place in the points. Somewhere we're predicting to, I would say, 10th, maybe 11th. So a must-win scenario for John Ottenbacher coming in to next week's race. I'm not going to count him out by any means. He's definitely you got a good fast car no matter where you go. So John, we know you'll be up there battling for the win. And meanwhile, 2.9 seconds separating Jeff Stabnow from Sean Brightsman, as Casey Tillman has come down to pit road. He gave up second position, and he has made his stop there. 13.9 seconds. He's got fresh tires, 41-ish laps. So while we're watching that battle, he came down just now. He completed his stop. He's got 1 lap on him. Well, the question is, when will the rest of our leaders be coming down? As your second place guy comes down a little bit sooner than everyone else. That means somebody's going to be coming down soon. And you see we got a battle going on back here as well. Ryan Maines going to scrape the wall there. Dan West Jr. will probably get by him for third place. But we're keeping an eye. As soon as we see someone hit pit road, we're going to go cover it. But a solid stop for Casey Tillman, 13.9 seconds on pit road. So far, nobody else is showing any interest in coming down the pit road. Every time we see them slow down to about 100, we're looking. But again, this is getting around this corner. They're not coming down pit road. So Casey Tillman going to be on a different pit strategy than everybody else here tonight, as he came down on lap 41. As we obviously can make 44 laps. We're on 45 right now. And Jeff Stabnow coming into turn 4. And no interest in coming down pit road. So these guys are going to hang out there quite a bit longer than Casey Tillman did. Well, the question is, when will they come down pit road? No signs of coming down anytime soon. We're keeping an eye on that. We're also keeping an eye on Ryan Maines and Dan West Jr. They're putting together a really good battle for third position here at the moment. As again, I expect to see that 55 up in the top 3. We may be talking to him a little bit later tonight as well. He's definitely someone you always have to watch out for, especially here this season, and even more importantly, the second half of this season, as he has made that truck come to life here, especially in qualifying, and has really good runs. I don't think he's had the runs to kind of show what the finishes to show the runs he has, but he's definitely had some really, really good runs here this season. Just hasn't really been able to capitalize off of something. Sometimes happens, and he doesn't get the finish that he, I would say, earned. as Sean Brightsman's going to bring that 46 machine down to pit road. As he'll again, the 46 machine coming down of Sean Brightsman, but that is it so far. Nobody else coming down pit road. A little bit of damage there to the 46 machine, as it looks like Ray Fournier is going to come down as well as Jeff Stabnow. Oh no, Jeff Stabnow not coming down pit road. Looked like he may have been coming down and something happened. And let's go back and take a look and see here. No caution's going to come out for Jeff Stabnow on the 24 machine. And meanwhile, good stop for Sean Brightsman, 14.6 seconds. But what happened here in the replay? Oh, he slides up and hits the 77. And there was no, he wasn't even trying to come to pit road. And right there, hard into the inside wall, I'm sure Jeff obviously didn't mean to. It just slid up right into the 77 and gets them both. He's going to come down pit road. Stephen Paulson coming down as well. And I would imagine the 77 of Tom Green will be coming down here momentarily. But again, no caution going to come out for that as Jeff Stabnow slides up the track. And that's a product of these older tires. You cannot keep it on the bottom like you could when you have those fresh tires. He is going to use his fast repair. Jeff Stabnow on the pit road. Looks like it's going to be a decent stop for him. Stephen Paulson almost out of his box, but he's going to stop and take 4 tires and fuel. Meanwhile, we go over to Tom Green. I'm surprised he hasn't come down pit road yet for that, as you see the damage right there where Jeff got into him. But so far, has not hurt him. He's already a lap down, but that was because of that probably. But heavy damage there to the 77 of Tom Green. And there goes Sean Brightsman. He'll get by him. Sean Brightsman also a lap down. But here comes Frank Harris in the number 11. He's going to go ahead and come down and take tires and fuel. As of this point, Tom Green has not come down. James Thurston has not come down. And just as I say that, Ryan Main's going to come down. Dan West Jr. has not, and James Vining has not come down. But also, the 13 of Ryan Main's going to have a little damage after he gets into the wall a couple of times, maybe contacted some other trucks as well. But Ryan Main's coming it down. He'll slide it to a stop in his stall. And he'll see if he's going to use. He is not going to use the fast repair here, as that would have been the next thing to do. There goes James Viney. He's going to bring it down pit road. So his first of probably 2 stops here tonight. 55 laps. Your math. 50, 100. He can make it on 2 stops here tonight. Dan West Jr. still has not come down. He is your new race leader in the number 55 machine. Here comes Ray Fournier with those fresh tires. You're about to see what fresh tires can do on old tires, even if the driver, even if they're not close really on speed right there, like taking candy from a baby. Ray Fournier going to blow by the 55 of Dan West Jr. Those new tires are just so good, so crucial here at this track. A lot of tracks, but even more so when you these tires are wearing off the way they are. So he will have to come in and pit soon. Meanwhile, James Thurston has not come down either. Tom Green is coming down. I would venture to guess he'll probably use his fast repair here on that 77 machine. He slides through a stall. He has to back it up. And again, is he going to use the fast repair? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like he's going to. Oh, there he has to back up a little bit more. Causing issues here. There he goes, but no fast repair used. He will go ahead and opt to keep the damage and maybe get a little bit done. We'll see. So far, James Thurston and Dan West Jr. have not come down pit road. We're on lap 60. Lap 59. Going to be lap 60 of 150. So 75 would be halfway point. There is no way. I do not think they can make it to lap 75. We don't know what the fuel strategy is, but I do not think they can make it that far on the fuel regardless, as we didn't get a fuel run from anybody. But that seems a bit too much for the old fuel strategy here. We'll see, though. Maybe they can. Maybe it's tires that are going to be the problem here tonight. Either way, we'll be watching to find out how it goes down with Dan West Jr., your race leader here. Let's take a lap or two with him here on board. And that's what we were looking for right there. Dan West Jr. is going to relinquish the lap for Jeff Stabno. So Jeff Stabno back on the lead lap as he is running out there. This track has gotten a lot brighter. The sun has come back out once again. As you can see, all the HDR, wow, sun shining off the car, these trucks here. And when the sun does come out, that's a good indicator that the sun is out and shining on this track. Let's check in on your track information. Mainly your track temp here tonight. 122 degrees. It was 116 during practice. So it has gone up a few degrees to say the least. And it will continue to rise here if the sun does continue to stay out. And what adversely affects that temperature, 122 degrees, what is affected by that is this, of course, your cautions. Caution free here, though, tonight. Here with one lead change, so no cautions here for the Hanover Wrecker Service. Cautions. Could we go caution free here tonight? Well, time will tell on that one for sure, as Dan West Jr. still has not come down 67 laps here. So obviously fuel is not the issue, it's tires. As you see right there, he's getting a little loose. We may see him or possibly James Thurston. I hate to say it, but they could be the reason for the caution here, as they are at the moment on the oldest tires here, 66 and 68 laps on these tires. Casey Tillman, right now he is 28 on his. So just to give you an idea of how this has gone, Dan West Jr. 68 laps on his tires. Meanwhile, Casey Tillman 28. So it has been nearly 30 laps since Casey Tillman came down. He was one of the first ones to come down. Sean Brightsman one of the next ones to come down. 20 laps. So Dan West Jr. has about 49 more laps on his tires. So basically 50 more laps on his tires than Sean Brightsman. And he is showing absolutely zero indicator of wanting to come down that pit road. He is wanting to stay out and lead as many laps as he can. And he's doing a good job of it too, I might add that. So can he hang on to this truck here? Obviously fuel not the problem. It is going to be a tire strategy, not a fuel strategy. And he's doing a fairly good job. He's having a baby just a little bit. Running 26.2 that time by. Whereas who was your race leader, 25.0 on the last lap. So it's 1.2 seconds slower on his last lap than Jeff Stabnow, who was your previous race winner. That is the lead change we had. So it'll be interesting to see how that one does shake itself out. The other one, James Thurston, he has not come down to pit. He is, however, a lap down, but he has not been on pit road. So this will be interesting to see. Unless we're getting a glitch in the system, I do not believe we are. These guys have not come down pit road. Oh, Dan West Jr. still your race leader. 73 laps is what we're on. We have 72 in the books. We're coming up on the halfway point, as we may see these guys come down here at the halfway point and try to make this a one-stop race instead of a two-stop race. That could be a strategy as well. We'll be waiting to see if that's the strategy that Dan West Jr. and James Thurston are going to try to attempt here tonight. It is risky with these tires being as worn out as they are. And there goes the 77 of Tom Green. Here comes Casey Tillman. Casey Tillman is your second place driver. He is on the lead lap as well. And it won't be but just a matter of laps. And there goes Dan West Jr. He sees the leader coming. He's going to come down pit road on lap 74. Oh, he has decided to bring it down. And James Thurston, however, not going to. Oh, Dan West Jr. bringing it finally down at pit road. He had a huge run there. Casey Tillman going to lead his first lap, though, as we'll make sure Dan West Jr. has a good stop here. On the pit road so far, 11, 12 seconds, 13 seconds, 14.3 seconds, a solid stop for Dan West Jr. He's off 4 tires and fuel. Casey Tillman, your new race leader. He's led his second lap of this race now. And can he get and hang on to it as we just crossed the halfway point right there. We are halfway done. Over halfway done, and look at this track once again. The sun has decided it wanted to play hide and go seek and ducks back behind the clouds, and you can see just how much darker it is. And look where they've been racing. Look how much darker that track is where they've been racing. Well, they are definitely laying some rubber down on this track. Casey Tillman out front, followed by Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow, Ryan Maines, and Stephen Paulson going to be your top 5 drivers here at the moment. Jeff Stabnow going to go ahead and get by the 26 Gina Bray Fournier. Of course, that is not for position, just for real estate. Sean Brightsman staying in there in second base. Casey Tillman has a 2.466 second lead over Sean Brightsman. Will he be able to cut that deficit down? You're talking of 41 lap tires versus 32 lap tires. So definitely going to be a interesting one to see if he can run him down. Tires have been so crucial here, as you saw Casey Tillman run down Dan West Jr. to take the lead. And speaking of Dan West Jr., there he is right there, 1 lap down in the number 55 machine. He's going to blast by Sean Brightsman here and try to reclaim his lap. All he got to do is get right up here to Casey Tillman. That'd be a little tougher than it looks I'm sure, as we are on the lap 83 of 150 caution free here tonight at Iowa Speedway for the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Walls Beard Co. with Beard Bomb, live on Race on Texas. Virtual Racing Network YouTube channel. We do so much on Race on Texas as well to kind of just run together, although they are one of our main partners here on the channel. So again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. I know there's a lot of things you could probably be doing on a Thursday night, but good news for everybody is, yes, that means tomorrow is Friday night. We're Friday and then Friday night, but either way, tomorrow is Friday, so hopefully everybody enjoys their Friday and gets the weekend off. I know, obviously, John Ottbacher having fun this weekend at the races, so enjoy your time there, and obviously make sure you take lots of pictures for us so we can see the race through you, since we don't get to go. And everybody pretty much spread out here. We currently only have 6 drivers on the lead lap. That last one is going to be Dan West Jr., who did get his lap back from Casey Tillman. Let's zoom out just a little bit and see. Here comes the 333 machine of James Vining, as he's looking to get his lap back as quickly as possible from Casey Tillman as well. He's right there battling with him. The question is, can he get by him? 31 laps for James Vining on his tires, 48 for Casey Tillman. So he has the distinct advantage of those newer tires, but can he take full advantage of them is the question. As we'll just keep an eye on that and see. 8 seconds. That is the gap from first to third. Let's make it 10 seconds. 10 seconds from first to third. Right now, Casey Tillman's strategy working out for him. He came in quite a bit earlier than everybody else, and it is playing dividends for him here tonight as he has taken the lead and shows no sign of looking back. Although the 333 of James Vining would like his lap back here. But the more he can hold that 333 behind him, he will be able to keep one less car on the lead lap, and that is always good when you're trying to win a race. The less competition you have, the better. So interesting to see and how all this one does kind of pan out and play out here in the end. It's been a good race so far. Again, this is just a battle to try to get the lap back here for the 333 of James Vining. He's fighting and clawing every way he can. You're welcome, John. Sean Brightsman, however, 2.2 seconds behind Casey Tillman. We'll keep an eye on that to see if that shrinks or if it grows here in the next lap or two, as it's now 2.16, so it actually is shrinking in there. That bright sun, well, there was the sun in turn 4. Now going into turn 1, the clouds are back over here. I'll zoom out here, and you can see, we'll see this transition. You see how it starts to get a little bit, and it is bright back on the backstretch here. Compared to turn 1 and 2, really 1. As you see, it's bright, starts to get a little bit darker into turn 4 and into the front stretch. And right there, it is super dark in turn 1. And I would say turn 2, and it starts to brighten up as you get to the backstretch. So really 2 distinct brightness. You get the clouds and the shadows over turn 1, 2, and part of the front stretch here, and then 3 and 4 in the back stretch lit up a lot more from that sun. So that's going to make it challenging on these guys to try and figure out what they want to adjust for. Do you adjust for the sun in turn 3 and 4, or do you adjust for the clouds in 1 and 2? It really makes it difficult to determine what you want to do here in the race. But you've got to adjust for one. And which one do you think is going to be more dominant at the end of the race? You also have to factor in that, as you just don't know. It's kind of a guessing game. You got those tweaks on standby, and of course all of this is null and void if we don't get any cautions. If we keep getting a couple of cautions, you can adjust on that car. But if you set your car up for a sunny track and the sun doesn't come out, you're pretty much out of luck. Yeah, of course, if you set it up for a cloudy track and the sun does come out, then you're out of luck as well. So without those cautions to allow you to tweak on this car throughout the race, you really have to just hope for the best and hope you tuned it right. You just don't have that time. Meanwhile, Sean Brightsman, 1.865 seconds. He has closed that gap from 2.2 to 1.88. So he actually is closing in on the leader. Slowly but surely, he is now to 1.7. So Sean Brightsman is catching your race leader here. It is a very tedious process, but he is catching him. All right, that's what we were wondering right there. Sean Brightsman going to bring it down pit road. You're about 60 or so laps into this run. As we knew somebody would be coming down, Jeff Stabnow going to be coming down as well. He pulls off just as Sean Brightsman pulls into his pit stall. So two drivers cutting it here. This would be their last stop. They will not come down again unless there is a caution. And so far, 14.3 seconds for Sean Brightsman. He is off and away. Ray Fournier in the 26 machine. He's going to come down as well. We have 50 laps to go right now for Casey Tillman, your race leader. Stephen Paulson going to come down in the number 55 or 58 Jim Beam Toyota Tundra here as well. We'll see. You got a couple of guys bringing it down. Ray Fournier barely making it into a stop there. But he does indeed make it in, and a good stop there for the 58 machine. Stephen Paulson, as he's going to get in there, and here comes Casey Tillman as well as Ryan Maines. Ryan Maines obviously going to get to his stall first, as he came in first. He's been on there a little bit longer, about 5 seconds longer than Casey Tillman. But we'll see. Casey Tillman gives up the lead to come down pit road. But he did get a little short pitted by Jeff Stabnow and Sean Brightsman. So will that little bit of a short pit help the 24 of Jeff Stabnow and the 46 of Sean Brightsman? We'll find out soon, as Dan West Jr. is your race leader once again. And he has already led 24 laps. He's looking to lead about 50 more if he can. Roughly anyway, if he can put it in victory lane. But he's already got 29 laps on his thing. Again, he went to lap 74 before he came down. So if you add, say, about 45 more laps to that, that would put him 75. That would just be putting him at the point where he was coming down from pit road last time and gave up the lead. So this is a tough one. If you're Dan West Jr., do you come down, or is he going to try to run this one out to the end? As we're looking right now, Dan West Jr., he is not in the chase. He's not in the top 12 right now, so he's got nothing to lose except for trying to get the win. So Dan West Jr., nothing to lose in the point standings. Why not run it out and try to run that thing bone dry in the gas tank and get the win? That's what it's all about for him right now, is picking up the wins. Nothing else really matters because he doesn't have a playoff spot to try to hang on to. So if I'm with him, I'm just going to go all out, trying to get that win at all costs here, and he may very well do that tonight. And looks like everybody but Dan West Jr., Frank Harris, and James Thurston have been down pit road here tonight. James Vining was on pit road 14 laps ago, so interesting one there. He's got about 6 or 7 more laps than everybody else. He came down quite a bit earlier than them. But I honestly do believe Dan West Jr. may try to run this out. 40 laps to go this time by for him. He very well could try to run this out. Sean Brightsman is on the lead lap, going to be running him down. But Sean Brightsman has a 11.4 second gap to him. So the question is, 40 laps to go. You should be able to make it on fuel barely. You're going to be squeezing it out there. Does he have enough of a gap over Sean Brightsman to pull out the win if he stays out? That I'm not sure about, because that 11.4 second gap is now 10.6. So I don't think he does. Sean Brightsman, with 11 laps in his tires compared to 36 with Dan West Jr., is starting to reel him in very quickly. Had it been me, maybe I'd have came down when I had that 11-second gap and got those just a little bit fresher tires. If you had 15, 20 lap fresher tires, I think you could probably run them down. And that may be what he's going to do. Maybe here in a bit you're going to see Dan West Jr. come down pit road and take fresh tires and fuel and have 20 laps fresher tires than everybody else in this field. And that could be a game changer if you can get your lap back and then get back around. Oh, and also assume a caution doesn't come out and ruin your plan. So, again, there's a lot of different strategies being played here tonight. So don't let anyone tell you this isn't a thinking game. It's not about just hitting the gas pedal going left and fast. There are a ton of strategies in play here tonight that you really have to strategize a absolute ton in real life racing or here in the sim. 8.1 seconds. That's why we're staying here with Sean Brightsman. Dan West Jr., your leader. We're on lap 115 of 150. He's led 36 laps. He's got nothing to lose here. He's not in the chase. He's just trying to pick up wins here tonight. And so far, he's doing a good job of it, but I just don't know if the strategy is going to work out for him or not here in the end. Alright, let's zoom out just a little bit here. There you see Dan West Jr., your leader, 6.8 seconds behind. There is Sean Brightsman. So he's not that far behind onto the track. 6 seconds obviously seems like quite a bit, and it is. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that far behind. He will catch him here in the next probably 10 laps. Would be my guess with those fresher tires. Again, we're talking 18, we'll say 20 laps versus 45 laps on tires. So it will be just a matter of time before he does eventually catch him. And when he does, he probably will get by him fairly quickly. That being said, I don't know how long it's going to be until he does catch him, because now that 6 seconds really hasn't dropped a whole lot. As we'll zoom in here a little bit. Oh, there it says 5.9. So this may be the moment where we're going to say that, I'm going to say that Dan West Jr.'s chances of the win maybe went up by about 10%. Maybe 5%. 5 to 10%, because Sean Brightsman had those fresh tires, 0 to 10 laps on them. He was knocking about a second off. He dropped from 10 seconds to actually 11 seconds to 5 seconds. And now he's only knocking off a tenth per lap. We're talking 25.3s for Dan West Jr., 24.8s, say 24.9s for Sean Brightsman. So, yes, Dan West Jr.'s tires are really old, but there is a point here where you get fall off, and then they kind of plateau. And when they plateau, you don't gain as much on people in front of you even if you have fresher tires. That may be where we're at here for the 46 of Sean Brightsman. We'll see. 4.83 seconds behind Dan West Jr. at the moment. Now 4.6, so he's closing the gap, but only about 2/10 a lap right now, as we're going to be coming up on 25 to go here in about 4 laps or so. Actually 3 laps. There it is. We're on lap 123, so we'll be 25 to go in about 3 laps once they complete that lap. And we're going to see Frank Harris coming down a pit road in the number 11 machine. He's going to pull it to a stop in his pit stall. And it's going to be left side, or right sides. Yeah, left sides only. We'll get that right. Left sides only here for the 11. 8.3 seconds on pit road. So interesting there that the 11 of Frank Harris came down and took left sides only. Casey Tillman, though, hanging into third place right now. 4.2. Sean Brightsman actually just lost a tenth to your race leader, Dan West Jr. Now it's going to be a 4.099. 4 seconds, 25 laps to go. Is that a small enough gap? Is Sean Brightsman fast enough to run down Dan West Jr. for the win? We may have a knockout, drag-out battle to the end of this race. I'm just not sure how it's going to play out, who's going to be up front. But what we do know is Dan West Jr., and we'll pull up that information bar right there, from 10th to 1st here tonight in the 55 machine. He has a 3.6 second lead over Sean Brightsman right there. He can see him on track from 1st to 2nd. That is where he's pretty much been all day. The lowest he has been is 10th, though. 3.4 seconds left to go here for Sean Brightsman to try and run down your race leader, Casey Tillman, and Jeff Stabnow trying to make something happen. Jeff Stabnow led so many laps early on. Right now, hanging in the 4th place again. He's fighting, not feeling. He's not 100% here. So the fact that he's hanging in the 4th place right now is absolutely amazing. We'll see if maybe he can get a top 3 out of this. He's going to have to get by Casey Tillman, who is passing Stephen Paulson here at the moment, who is already a lap down. But the 2.9 seconds for the 46 machine. The gap is starting to grow smaller and smaller. We're going to have 30 laps to go when they complete 2 more laps. 20 laps to go when they do it. 20 laps to go. That's all that remains. 2.7 seconds. Sean Brightsman's got to be wondering, do I have enough to catch him? Let's go on board with him on our roll-bar camera we have placed in that car, the 46 machine, and see. Sean Brightsman, the sun right there coming out. You can see the batteries reflecting off the glass. Absolutely amazing, the quality here on iRacing. And he's not fighting this truck hardly at all. 2.4 seconds behind. So he is, again, he's closing that gap. And we're going to watch this battle as we have 20 to go. This time, we'll watch it. Once he gets 10 laps to go, that's going to be where we really ramp up this and see if he's close enough to possibly run him down. Because I really do think Dan West Jr. is going to try to run this thing all the way to the end on fuel. The question are the tires going to hold up that long as well. Well, good question indeed here. If you're the 46, will you be able to catch him? 2.15 seconds behind here at the moment. I'm not 100% sold that either one of these guys could get the win just yet. I do think the 55 has a pretty good shot at it, but then again, I do also believe so does the 46 have a good shot at it as well. Casey Tillman too far back. I don't think his he would need a miracle back there. He is about 6 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Stabenow. Or sorry, 7 seconds, almost 8. Jeff Stabenow 13 seconds behind. So a miracle would have to be in place for those guys. They're the only four drivers on the lead lap here. Ryan Maines starting in 5th place is already the first car a lap down. Well, those guys pretty much, I would say their night probably not going to happen. Just to update there, remember that Scott Hutchinson, Dane Rogers, and Dan Stuzzi did not start the race here tonight. And Ray Fournier, James Thurston there he goes. Not sure what's going on there, but having a little issue with the scoring tower. But 1.05 seconds behind. We're coming up on 15 to go as they cross the line right there. 15 laps to go. Less than a second separating your front or two drivers here at the moment. So it's pretty safe to say right now that Sean Brightsman is going to catch Dan West Jr. The question is he going to be able to pass him? Again, 61, well, they're crossing the line. Let's say 62 laps versus 38 laps on their tires. Yes, that is a huge difference, but has Sean Brightsman tires really plateaued off here to be, again, kind of, not really even, but there becomes a point where they kind of even themselves, plateau themselves off, where they don't wear much more after that. So will that be the case here for Sean Brightsman? Have those tires got to their max wear and matched up with Dan West Jr.? I don't think so yet. He's obviously reeled him in. So it'd be interesting. He's got now a gap 0.683. We will stick to these two like glue right now unless something happens big time on the track. And that I don't see it happen. We have about 12 laps to go. Dan West Jr. not going to fight the 11 too much. He's going to let him have that lap again. He's going to fresher tires. There's no point battling, but he's going to have to get down there quick and close that door. He does just that as we start lap 140. It's 11 laps to go. Going to be 10 laps remaining in this race. Next time by, Dan West Jr. trying to hang on to the lead, but I think it's futile at this point. Sean Brightsman coming from an 11-second deficit all the way to the front of this race, and just like that, those new tires, or newer tires he has. Oh, Dan West Jr. into the outside wall, and that will seal it right there, as that's going to allow the 46 of Sean Brightsman to get by. New tires or not, Yeah, can't get into the outside wall and keep the lead. So unfortunate for Dan West Jr. I think he had a winning strategy here. He just needed this race to be about 140 laps instead of 150. 10 laps to go. Dan West Jr. Again, we talked about him a little earlier tonight. We'll pull that information up here. He has terrific qualifying runs, terrific race runs, but does not have the finishes to show what he's done all race long. Tonight, I think he may get that finish. Not going to be the win, but definitely going to be a strong finish for him as he can hang on to a second place. Meanwhile, your leader, Sean Brightsman, here with 8 laps to go. If he can get the win, he'll pad that thing just a little bit more going into the final race of the round of 12. And there it is, coming to the line, 7 laps to go. Jeff Stabenow would love to get a solid top 3 out of this. But considering he's not 100% here, the fact that he is even in 4th place and led as many laps as he did, I would call that an accomplishment here tonight. Five laps to go here. Getting caution free. We'll pull that up here on your screen right there as you watch your leader, Sean Brightsman, try to get by the 11. I put him another lap down. Caution free. 4 different lead changes here tonight. So, again, I didn't expect us to go 100% caution free. I thought we might have one just because of tire wear, but that's not the case here so far. Caution free in tonight's race. Just to check in, let's pull up your track information one more time. This track has actually cooled down to 118 degrees. It was 122, so track temperature going the opposite way here that you might expect with all the heat from these engines being laid down. With 3 laps to go, I don't think we get much cooler than that. But again, from 116 in practice to 122 during the race is the max we saw, to 118. It's starting to cool back down here again tonight, which we're coming up on 2 laps to go for the 46 of Sean Brightsman. He's only led what will be about 11 laps. So he hasn't led anywhere near the most, but it doesn't matter how many you lead. As long as you lead the last one, it's about which lap you lead, not how many. So he's going to do that here tonight as they're going to come out of turn number 4, coming to the line. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here for the 46 of Sean Brightsman in the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Walls Beard Co. Beard Bond, live here on Virtual Racing Network YouTube channel. He is about a half a track away from putting in a victory lane right there. Coming in to turn number 4, your race winner here tonight, as he scrapes the wall just slightly, is going to be the 46 of Sean Brightsman, your race winner here tonight at Iowa Speedway. We'll quickly go through your unofficial race results before we jump over to the post-race show. Again, coming away with the win is going to be Sean Brightsman. Second place is going to be Dan West Jr. Third place will be Casey Tillman. Fourth place will be Jeff Stabenow. And rounding out the top 5 here tonight will be Ryan Maines. Going beyond that, 6th through 14th will be Stephen Paulson, James Vining, Ray Fournier, James Thurston, Frank Harris, Tom Green, Scott Hutchinson, Dana Rogers, and Dan Stuzzi. That will be your unofficial race results. We will be right back here in just a few moments with your top 3 drivers here in the post-race show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with a post-race show from the booth here at Iowa Speedway. And, of course, as always, we start with third place. And that third place is going to be the 92 of Casey Tillman. First off, we just kind of was talking to him before we went back live on the air. We'll be hearing some of that again here because y'all didn't get to hear it. But had a bad fast truck here, making some improvements and changes to the truck throughout the night here. This track went from sunny to cloudy and back and forth all night long. So what was this race like, and what all did you have to tweak on there? Is there for a while it looked like you had a really good shot at the win.
Yeah, I mean, early on, after qualifying, I kind of made a little bit of an adjustment to it, not knowing, what way the track was going to go in that. And I got it a little too tight, and then it kind of ended up burning like the right front off pretty early on. So I had to come in. I kind of short pitted it, didn't really want to, but at the same time, I didn't want to get into the fence or anything. So I kind of short pitted it just a little bit and made a tire pressure adjustment on 2 corners, I think, that time. And a couple other small little things, and went back out, and the truck was really good. It kind of goes through a really fast stage, and then it seems like it kind of wanted to go tight a little bit, and then, the longer the laps you get on the tires and that, it kind of seemed like it kind of stabilized out for me, that middle section of the race and that, and so I thought, well, maybe we got a good shot. I wanted to try getting to pit road before Sean because I knew if he beat me to pit road, he was going to get me for sure. but I didn't. I was holding out. Of course, when you're the leader and you don't lead much in this series, you kind of got to suck it up when you can. So, it was a lot of fun actually. Really good racing. Green white checkered. That's awesome. So.
Well, we're looking here at the point standings. You came into tonight's race in 11th, 5 points out of the top 8. With this, you finished better than Tom, who was 1 point ahead of you. Frank Harris, 4 points, so you should pass those. John not being here, while you didn't get the win, even though you had a really good shot at it there, and the strategy was almost working in your favor. It looks like you will squeak into maybe 7th place. I believe at the very least you should get 8th place at least. So you'll be going into the next race in unofficially around 7th or 8th place in the points. So you will be in the good at that point. So how much pressure does that add, knowing that you're possibly in, but you're going to be right there on the bubble then going to that last race?
I mean, the fact that I even made it into the chase, I was kind of shocked, to be honest with you. With racing in real life and that, and racing, we ran, I think, 26 main events this year, just in one series here. And of course, we kind of ran around a couple of the tracks around here. So with, racing in general, in my real life, I didn't really get much time to do any kind of setup or work on setups and that. They host the setup and stuff on Saturday nights, but of course I'm always racing on Saturday nights. So this was actually the first time I actually kind of got to sit down and play with the setup a little more than usual, and it seemed like, it was beneficial for me. I tend to my driving style tends to be quite a bit different than most people on here. So I don't know. I guess we're going to have to sit down and do a little bit more research and see what we can do for the remainder of this round of 8 or whatnot. See if we can get some good finishes and maybe possibly pick up my first win with this series and that. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
We definitely will, and the great scorekeeper that is up in the higher places than us did get us the points, and indeed you gained 4 spots from this week, so you are in 7th place, so 1 spot above the cutoff, so not quite on the bubble. So you will be good going into next week. Just have to get a decent finish or possibly a win. But that being said, obviously congrats on jumping 4 spots to 7th place to be in the good. We got any sponsors on the card? Any shout-outs you want to give for getting you here tonight?
Well, first off, I got to thank Jeff and Sean and, everybody that has to do with, the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series and that. These guys are a great group of guys, and hats off to them for always giving us or spending the time to give us a great series or 2 great series to race in. Got to give a shout out to you guys for I'm drawing a blank right now. That for hosting or whatnot, for streaming our races and that. It's a cool thing to do. My real sponsors, Pit Stop USA and YMC Inc., those guys, they allow me to be able to afford iRacing and such as well. So, yeah.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the 3rd place finish here tonight and getting 7th place in the overall, moving into the final round of 12. That being said, we have our 2nd place driver here with us, not in the chase here. And if I was a betting man, we're going to ask the question. Hopefully, I bet right. Played a little bit different fuel strategy here tonight for the 55 of Dan West Jr. You went out there, and I really think you had a good shot here at getting the win, but it came out just a little bit short. Had this race been 140 laps instead of 150, I think we'd be talking to you in victory lane here tonight.
Thanks, Charles. I had to do something totally different than Casey and Sean and Jeff. Those guys were in a different league. So I just thought, if I could try to get it to halfway point, then and see, try it with one pit stop. But obviously, watching Sean, here he come, of course, and I thought maybe I had a little bit. If he had burned his tires off getting to me, I thought maybe I'd have a little bit to hold on to him. But me and Sean both, we kind of fought with a lap car there, and that lap truck kind of moved me out a little bit, and I felt like I needed to be on the bottom to protect that. But all in all, definitely Sean was definitely faster. But it was a handful. I tell you, going 75 laps on a set of those tires was a tough handle.
Definitely didn't look like it was easy at all. We saw everyone getting a little loose here and there. The fact you can hang on to it for nearly 75 laps on each run is absolutely amazing. Again, good battling. You let out front quite a few laps. Obviously, since you're not in that chase right now, it's kind of just about wins. That's all it is. So obviously, going into next week, nothing really on the line. So does it change your focus there to, got to get good finishes, or is the rest of the season really about just seeing, experimenting with different stuff and seeing how many wins you can pick up?
I think it's just more just having fun and of course, just trying different things. These guys are so fun to race with. They're so clean and tough. I mean, it's if you can pull a win off in this series, it's pretty impressive. So, I think it's just go out and have fun. Charles, it's one of those deals where I'm not in the chase, so I don't have to worry about the stress.
Well, definitely always nice when you don't have that added stress of the chase there for you. But we know you got some shout-outs you need to give and sponsor thanks. So who would those be for that second place finish and just shy of the win as well?
Of course, you, Charles, again, Virtual Racing Network. I got to throw a shout out to Jeff Stabnow for the setup that he gave us all out there. It was an awesome setup. That's what I ran. I didn't adjust on it all night long, and I don't feel like I put a lot of work into that setup at all. Him and a few guys on Saturday night, I felt like he gave us a good, stable truck, and I was just able to throw it in my truck and go race and have fun.
And congrats on the second place, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again later on this season before it comes to an end. And of course, speaking of people we've talked to multiple times this year as well, it's going to be the winner here tonight, the 46 of Sean Brightsman, the second time in this chase. He's in victory lane. So just, again, as we like to refer to it, getting that wrench and just kind of tightening down that pressure on everyone below you as you pick up the win. It obviously changes the whole dynamic now going into next week. For some of these guys, it's a must-win scenario here. And we got to ask you the question, if it's between you and John next week and you're battling for the win, are you going to give him any break knowing he needs to win to get in?
I'm going to plead the fifth because I'm not sure what I'll do in that scenario. It depends. I love winning, but it'd be nice to race, potentially, 3 teammates or 2 teammates in the round of 8. 3 teammates in the round of 8, unless Mark shows up and he can go out and win Phoenix too. So maybe it'll come down to Mark and John, and then I won't have to get into it, and then I'll win by them wrecking each other.
Well, there you have it, John. He's pleading the fifth if you're still out there listening in on the stream. It's a good run for you here. You obviously started up front, and I believe the 10th was the furthest you fell back, but for the most part you stayed up front. The question here, of course, is we had about 30 laps to go, 25 somewhere in there. You had an 11-second deficit to Dan West Jr., but you were catching him by leaps and bounds. You were gaining like a second every couple of laps, and then it would go to a tenth or two every lap or so as those tires wore off. The more your tires wore off, did you think you still had enough to catch him when those jumps started becoming a little bit smaller?
I really wasn't sure. It felt pretty good. I felt like I was running pretty decent times. I really didn't think I had the truck to win. strategy worked out, and I got honestly really lucky. I made a terrible adjustment on the first pit stop, and the truck was just garbage. So went back and changed that completely, and it was a lot better for me. But we got to that 30 lap mark, and trying to close. I was able to see him, or at least see the time, and I just wasn't sure. I didn't know if he was just saving his tires, kind of riding, trying to, manage his tires so that way if we did, come together or get close, he could just, out drive me there. So happy to see it. I mean, we had 3 different strategies really going on there, and tough break for Jeff Stabnow, who was leading and kind of dominating the first stint and everything like that until some contact got him out of that. But overall, I mean, a lot of fun, especially to go green flag all the way. That was awesome.
Well, definitely, it was awesome to see. We went again green to checkered. No cautions in between. Obviously, big shout out to Jeff just being able to finish this race. Anyway, we noticed he hightailed it out of here right afterwards. Not at 100%. We won't divulge everything we know, but we know he wasn't at 100%. So the fact he did lead some laps here. But in the end, you get the win for the second time here in the round of 12. So next week, it's do or die for some drivers. We'll have to see who comes out on top. But we know you got some sponsors and shout out you got to thank for getting you here and getting that win tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I got to thank Walls Beard Co., Wicked Chassis Racing, Virtual Racing Network, Central Welding Supply, and then again, just as I say every time I'm able to talk to you, I got to shout out to the Northwest Racing Series and also the Northwest Tour. I know we're running a little low on drivers, and hopefully as we move into the round of 8, more start showing up, so that way they can impact people not showing up and racing, or creating some more drama for everybody in the chase, as well as giving more drivers a chance to win. So hope to see a few more people out there from the Northwest Tour and some of our returnees from our Northwest Series. So and thanks everybody for showing up.
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This, of course, being your post-race show. We are off till Sunday with the Adrenaline iRacing League. Should be a good race there, running around 30 drivers or so each week. We weren't there last week, but we will be there this week for ISM Raceway, so make sure you stay tuned for that. That'll do it for tonight for the Northwest Truck Series, presented by Wells Beard Co. here live on Virtual Racing Network. Until Sunday, stay safe, and we'll see you there.